Everyone is talking about talks, but no one wants to talk. The glaring contradiction measures the difference between optics and hard reality. Within the optics domain, everyone desires to look and sound reasonable. The hard reality, on the other hand, is based on a cold and calculated assessment of the situation and the advantage that accrues in a zero-sum conflict. So why is Fawad Chaudhry insisting all combatants sit down and talk? Is he living in cuckoo land? This week, he, along with former PTI leaders Imran Ismail, Mahmoud Maulvi, and Dr. Shahzad Wasim, organized the first meeting of the National Dialogue Committee in Islamabad. NDC, as it is called, has been formed to initiate some form of dialogue between important stakeholders in order to, as Fawad Chaudhry says, lower the temperature in the country. The meeting was attended, among others, by former Prime Minister Shahid Haqqan Abbasi, as well as members from MQM, Jamaat-e-Islami, other parties, and senior lawyers and journalists. At the end of the meeting, a declaration was announced which urged various confidence-building measures between the government and the opposition. So far, so good. Here's the problem, though. The establishment is in no mood to talk to the PTI, unless on its own terms. Imran Khan is in no mood to talk to the establishment, unless on his own terms. The PMLN is in no mood to enable the establishment and Imran Khan to talk to each other, unless such talking burns any remaining bridges between them. The rest don't matter. Fawad Chaudhry is a smart politician. He understands the situation as it exists. Why is he chasing a fantasy? Unless he knows something others don't. What could this be? To figure it out, one needs a deeper dive into not just the present state of affairs, but more importantly, the thought process defining today for tomorrow and possibly the day after. Let's start with the foundational question. What defines Pakistan's acutest challenge, domestic or international? Consider the following. Donald Trump's transformation from isolationist to an imperialist president is redrawing most geostrategic calculations across the world. The so-called Don-Roe Doctrine, a Trumpian twist to the Monroe Doctrine, has put Latin America on notice. After Trump's kidnapping of Venezuelan president and American control of his country and its oil reserves, countries like Colombia, Mexico, and Cuba are bracing for the worst. Trump is flexing military muscle in a naked pursuit of U.S. interests. A new and unexpected crisis is engulfing the international system. In every crisis, there are challenges and opportunities. But what does this have to do with Fawad Chaudhry? Wait. In Europe, a sense of acute insecurity has descended like a cold, wet blanket on a snowy night. With each passing day, it is becoming alarmingly obvious to Europe's leaders that Russia will, in fact, get what it wants in Ukraine. If this wasn't bad enough, Trump's threat against Denmark-owned Greenland means Europe will, one way or another, have to bend the knee. And with NATO's future under threat because of Trump's waning interest in the alliance, European nations now have to figure out how to survive in a big bad world without the guarantee of U.S. protection. In a world increasingly being divided into American, Chinese, and Russian spheres, Europe finds itself in neither. But what does this have to do with Fawad Chaudhry? Wait. In Iran, national protests have erupted. Pakistan has issued a travel advisory to its citizens, and Trump has threatened to take action against the Iranian regime if it starts shooting protesters. Israel is itching to take another swing at Iran and is ferociously whispering in Trump's ear to go for regime change. Dark clouds of another attack on Iran by Israel and the U.S. are hovering dangerously. If Pakistan is on tenterhooks, it should. Does this really have any connection, however convoluted, with Fawad Chaudhry? Wait. A report by the respected news agency Bloomberg says that Turkey wants to be part of the Pakistan-Saudi Arabia Strategic Defense Pact, and details have almost been worked out. The report says this alliance could have a deep impact on the geostrategic dynamics of the region. All this is happening when Defense Minister Khawaja Asif has said if our defense deals go through, we may not need IMF for too long. Reports suggest Pakistan is in advanced stages of selling aircraft and other military equipment to a number of countries. The air chief is currently in Iraq, and the Iraqis are expected to purchase JF-17 aircraft. The Saudis may also convert their $2 billion loan into a JF-17 fighter deal. Much is happening. And then there's India, as well as Indian-sponsored terrorism from Afghanistan. Instability on the eastern and western borders is refusing to recede. It demands an all-hands-on-deck approach. In other words, national security fueled by global and regional instability is reinforcing the strength of the regime at home. There is little pressure on the regime to show any flexibility towards the opposition. There is even less pressure to call elections or roll back pressure on the judiciary, media, or other such institutions. Barring a black swan event, the system will continue to dig in its heels for the foreseeable future. Fawad Chaudhry's initiative is an acknowledgement of this reality and an attempt to coax others to recognize it too. It is rooted in idealism whose time has not come, yet. But what Fawad Chaudhry and his colleagues realize, and many others are refusing to, is that a middle way can actually be found, at some point, that belies the zero-sum nature of the present situation. Today, no one is interested. Tomorrow, some could. Keep talking about talks long enough, and one day someone will come to the table, or be dragged to it.